So Elizabeth, what is the naming of non-state torture and the framework around it meant to you in your life?
What it has meant is that since I was very little, I suffered torture harms, and those torture harms didn't have a name, so they stayed silent and I couldn't speak about them. And then when I learnt what torture was and what acts were torture, I realised that I had been tortured, and that gave me the possibility to feel that what I'd suffered had a name and could be recognised and validated.
So before you had the framework and the naming, how was your life?
It was partitioned off because I didn't have a way of describing what had happened to me. So I couldn't fit what had happened to me into words that were in the general use, like sexual abuse or assault. That didn't fit. Incest kind of covered a bit of it but didn't really fit. So I forgot the rest of the question, sorry.
That's okay. So now that you have the naming and the framework,
Yeah.
how has your life changed from how you described it was before? What has the naming and the framework done to change your life, or has it changed your life?
Well, it has changed my life completely because I've understood the ordeals that I've suffered, like being caged or being hung and tied up, and the deprivation of food and sleep and verbal tortures. I've understood those, so I've been able to name them, and that's meant that I've been able to feel heard and listened to for what actually happened to me, and that's meant I've been able to grieve, and that's given me freedom. So it's meant that I can live my life and know that, tragic as it was, that I was a torture survivor of torture at home. It gives me visibility in a way, because I can actually talk to the reality of my childhood, and that somehow gives me pride. I know it seems strange, but it does, because it gives me a voice that recognises my own experiences and what happened to me. And then I can talk to other people, and then I can say, actually, I don't want this happening to other children, and then we can work to fight and stop it.
So do you have a dream for your future around, the reality of non-state torture or your life? What are your dreams now, or your main dream for your life?
Well, my main dream is I've got several main dreams, but one of my main dreams is to look after myself and to give myself lots of kind nature enjoyment experiences for the rest of my life, and my other biggest dreams are that I would like non-state torture to be recognised as a form of violence against women and girls, and I'd like to be able to look at my local rape crisis centre, or actually nationally and internationally, and see on the list, have you suffered non-state torture? This is what it is. And then I would like to imagine that if that had been me all those years ago, I'd have been able to walk into a centre and say, yes, I suffered that, and please can you give me help for that and support. So that's one of my main dreams. NST informed care.
It's a big dream.
Yeah.
It's a great dream.
But also I'd like us to educate our young people so that they understand what torture is, and then that way, if they are suffering that at school, or their teachers can be educated about it too and have awareness, that they would pick that up. And then what happened to me, which was that it went on, there wasn't a framework for it, so it went unrecognised, undetected and unspoken about for so many years that it should never have really, I mean, it couldn't have been otherwise, but it shouldn't happen like that. A young person should go on suffering that without anyone finding them. So lots of education.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
You're welcome, Linda.